We've been using strings a little bit in our program so far, but we haven't looked at a lot of the things that C++ strings can do. The C++ string is an object that has a set of functionality that can be really handy. We can get the size of the contents of a string by using the size function. It gives us the number of characters in our string, so this includes letters, numbers, symbols, and spaces. Behind the scenes, strings are basically character arrays, or arrays of characters. So we can use the subscript operator as if it were an array to get specific letters out of our string. So here we have a for loop. It goes from 0 to the size of the string, and we can output one letter at a time from that string. We can use the find function to find a substring within a string. Find returns the position that the first substring is found. If no substring is found, it's going to be set to the value of string : in pause, so no position. Note that it only returns the position of the first time something matched is found, but not subsequent ones, so you'll have to do a little bit more work if you want to find every occurrence in the string. Here's a sample of what it looks like to use the find function. We can use the if statement to check to see whether the position that's returned is either no position or some position. We can replace portions of a string with the replace function. We pass in the position and the length that we want to replace, and the string of what it should be replaced with. So here, the word trek begins at position 5 in the character array of the string, and then trek itself is 4 letters long, so we're passing in 5, 4, and wars to replace trek with. Now this is just an example. I actually kind of prefer Star Trek over Star Wars. We can combine the find and replace functions to write a special function that will replace a certain word with another word. Some programming languages have this sort of functionality on their own. C++ doesn't, so we have to end up writing it ourselves. And here's an example of that program running. We can also get a substring from a string with the substring function. This requires a starting position and a length, just like the replace function, but instead this just returns a string. With the way we've normally been getting input, we can't have any spaces. If we want to get a string from the user that may include white space, we need to use the getLine function. Instead of using cin with the stream operator, those two greater than signs that point towards the variable, we call getLine. We pass in cin since we're getting input from the console, and then we put the variable in that we're going to store the input into. Note that if you're intermixing your input methods, you might need to use cin.ignore before you change, or you might get some weird wonky results. Notice here that it's skipping the what is your name input. We add cin.ignore, and now it works okay. You can find out more about the string class and its functions at the c++.com reference website. Most of the pages about functions will have a parameter list and sample code, so it's really good to get acquainted with this webpage.